It's not another Buffalo podcast with John.
Boy, Phoebe.
Pat.
I'm just a dad talking in a closet.
And Brando.
They're not even eating Doritos. They're eating the knockoff Doritos that don't have the cheese powder on them.
Those are called tortilla chips, Brandon. Back to Not Another Buffalo Podcast. I'm John. That's Pat. That's Brando. You can find us on all platforms at Not Buff Podcast. A lot of news, a lot of stuff to get to this episode. But before we get into it, just want to let you guys know this episode is brought to you by Small City Realty. If you're looking to buy, sell, or manage property in West New York, number is 585-409-1088 for Zach Korzelius. 585-409-1088. Center Street still on the market right now, and I don't know if it will be for too much longer. So if you have any investor friends that are interested in a turnkey operation, building, business, everything included, plus 2 food trucks, 3 stories, awesome building in Batavia. So if you're interested in that, 585-409-1088 for Zach Korzelius, Small City Realty in Batavia, New York. Where do you guys want to start? Micah Parsons, that just happened. That's probably the biggest news of the day.
Right?
Yeah. Which is hilarious because it's like so much happened this week. I mean, Jordan Poyer is back on the practice squad. We could do a whole episode on that. But Micah Parsons, anyway, Cowboys received defensive tackle Kenny Clark and 2 firsts. The Packers signed Parsons to a 4-year, $188 million contract, making him the highest paid non-QB in history.
It's $47 million a year on average for you math wizards out there. And if anybody was wondering, I believe Josh Allen was at $55 a year.
Wow. So almost Josh Allen level money.
That's a lot of money.
I'm gonna sound a little snarky when I say this, so take this with a grain of salt. But what do you guys think the reason is that the Packers are able to do this?
I mean, they did it with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, obviously the numbers aren't the same, but they did it with like Zadarius Smith, threw a bunch of guaranteed money at him, I guess. And it worked out. Yeah, I was gonna say, how many pricey wide receivers do they have none
on their roster right now?
None.
Why is that?
Because they drafted.
They draft wide receivers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Matthew Golden in the first round, great pick. I have him in my Madden league. The guy is a stud. He's super fast. I really like him. I feel
Put him in the Hall of Fame. Put him in the Hall of Fame. He's good on Brandon's man of the team.
That's the key. It's the same as Keon Cole. I have him with Keon, and I have Marvin Harrison Jr. That's my trio of receivers. They're good.
That's actually pretty good. Solid.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing I was just reading about the GM of the Packers, I could not tell you his name, even though I just read it. He was trying to get Khalil Mack when Khalil Mack was traded in like 2021 or 2020. Maybe it was a little before that. But he made the same offer that the Bears accepted from,
I think it was the Chargers. Right?
Yeah. The Chargers. Yeah. It was the same amount of picks, but they took the Chargers picks because they thought the Packers picks were going to be higher. So he's been trying to get, and then he signed, there's another guy he signed for 3 years. He had 25 sacks. Maybe it was Zadarius Smith. I don't remember who it was, but he's older. But this guy has been trying to get a high-end pass rusher for years in this Packers organization. And that's the part that reminded me of Brandon Beane, because Brandon Beane just said it the other day. If he could pick one player throughout the league, he would pick Myles Garrett. And I'm like, you could have made this trade though, Brandon. But when you look at it from the Bills' perspective, Packers had a lot of cap space to work with, and they didn't really have to send money back. The comparable offer is 2 firsts and Ed Oliver, and that does not clear enough space to bring in Micah Parsons on a $22 million deal this year. So you would have had to throw in Curtis Samuel and somebody else. I say Curtis Samuel because he has a $7 million cap relief if you trade him.
Right.
But then the Cowboys are on the hook for that. They're on the hook for like $15 million. Whoever takes Curtis Samuel, he's owed $15 million real dollars from an owner over the next 2 seasons. Jerry Jones is probably like, why do I have to pay? Like, I don't want to pay Micah Parsons this money now. Why do I have to pay Curtis Samuel here?
Right.
And Ed Oliver also got a new deal, so he would need some money too. But, maybe you sweeten it up with a couple more picks. I don't know. But $47 million a year is enough for me to say, okay, I'm glad we keep our guys. But for $40 million a year, Myles Garrett, I would have liked that. Maybe 42, whatever it was. But TJ Watt's at 42. I want one of those guys on defense.
In order to have that many like star players on your cap, like a second Josh Allen of the defense, right?
Yeah.
You're going to have to concede in other places, right? But you have to have like a perfect draft record leading up until that trade to make that work, right? Like if you take like if you took Ed Oliver out of the mix, like we already don't know what's happening at defensive tackle this year. And I'm sure having Micah Parsons is actually worth it to overcome that because of the net gain there. But it's like, it is tough. And so it really shows the importance of a long-term draft strategy where it's like, some people might say the Packers have drafted too many wide receivers, right? And every one of those wide receivers that you draft is a pick that you're not using somewhere else, right? So that might be somewhere else that you need to address. But at a high value position like wide receiver, if your entire squad is made up of people who are pretty much, I would say the Packers wide receiver room is on par with the Bills wide receiver room. Is that fair?
I feel like it's a little better.
It might be a little bit better, but it has similar depth, right? Like we'd say the Bills have not like a very top number one. Shakir is not.
I don't know who's the clear number one in Green Bay then. Right?
Exactly, I'm saying they have relative depth too.
Reed, Dubes, Dobbs.
Yeah,
Doobie.
Romeo Dobbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just added Matthew Golden to the mix. It's like they have a bunch of very good B wide receivers, right? And I'm not saying Khalil Shakir is like a B wide receiver, but he's definitely not a volume guy. And I think that their wide receiver room breaks down comparably. But the difference is all these guys for them are on rookie contracts, and we're paying Curtis Samuel $7 million a year. Like that's the difference there. Does that make sense? So
it's also worth mentioning that, what did you say Micah Parsons is making a year now? What
47.
is this? 47. Chris Jones is only making $31.8 million a year. So
that's crazy.
I don't know.
Micah Parsons also only 26. I think Chris Jones might be 31.
Sure.
So you're getting the prime years of Micah Parsons for $47 million.
What was it? Yeah. And then it was 120 guaranteed.
It's something like that. I think
$120 million fully guaranteed if he never even suits up.
I'd wonder when the contract details come out if some of that vests after this year. So it's like that might be the first number that comes out, but it doesn't immediately vest. But again, like that kind of guaranteed money is crazy. So, but he's that good. He's that good of a player. It's just like anything else on a value chart. Incrementally more value is exponentially more price, right?
Yep.
$10,000 guitar, probably only 5% better than a $3,000 guitar. It's like, that's just how it goes.
It's like golf clubs too, right? These drivers, they're adding 10 yards for $400.
Maybe not even that.
Maybe. Yeah.
But,
maybe.
Yeah. So,
and the thing that I was thinking about too is so crazy because I think of guys that make that kind of money. TJ Watt comes in at like 15 sacks. JJ Watt in his prime, 12 to 15 to 16, 17, 18. These high end guys, they push over 50, like a sack a game is what you're looking at for a guy like that. And I saw Parsons was at 12 average over his first 3 seasons. It's a good number. You look at like Nick Bosa and Joey Bosa. Joey's the guy in the Bills, right? Nick's the brother.
Yeah.
Nick Bosa's career high is like 10 and a half sacks, whereas Joey Bosa's career high is like 16, right? That's a big difference. And, you just brought him up. Chris Jones does more than just sack the quarterback when he gets his numbers. And it's interesting to see what they pay for because like TJ Watt just got his deal at $42 million a year, and then you look at Greg Rousseau making 20. That's a good deal. I feel like that's a good deal.
Well,
right. You're probably getting like what 3/4 of the production for half the price ish.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I feel like that's good value.
It is.
So for $33 million a year, say you get 7 from Bosa and 8 from Rousseau, that's 15 sacks for $33 million instead of 12 sacks for $47 million from Micah Parsons.
Yeah. The big question is though, does value win the Super Bowl, right? Because it's not like you get all your dollars back at the end of the year for what you save. It's not like us out on the street trying to save money on groceries where it's like, if I get this 50% off, I get to spend that money elsewhere, right? Like there's a cap, you spend to it. It's not even our money also. So it's like really just, the opportunity cost of what players can you not pay because you're paying this person so much. So, but again, that contract, well, it's always going to look the biggest when they sign it. 2-3 years down the road when the cap is $40 million higher, it's going to be not a nothing burger, but you're going to look at the percentage of cap at signing, which I'll be interested to see when those numbers come out. Probably, honestly, I think the Packers won this deal. Like, I think Jerry Jones got fleeced. I don't know why he's still the GM of his football team, to be honest with you. You know, if he was refusing,
he owns it.
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
Just gonna say, yeah,
that's why. That's why. But I don't know. He what was the stuff during the negotiations? Like, he refused to talk to his agent. He wanted to talk directly to Micah Parsons.
They had a deal for $42 million a year done between Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones. Like, those two guys talked. And when Micah told his agent, and his agent was like, hell no. Like, no. I mean, think about it. He got $5 million more.
It's true.
That's not nothing. You know, that's not nothing in the scheme of.
I don't know, but if you really cared about the organization you were playing with, maybe that would be something that you'd be willing to.
Maybe.
You know.
I also think the contract term was longer for that also. So it's like he signed like what, a 3-year contract with 4 years with the Packers. I think the Cowboys wanted to sign him to a 6-year contract, which again sounds like, okay, I'm guaranteed for 6 years this amount of money. But think about 4 years from now. If he's still a great pass rusher, that next contract that he's going to get is probably going to be a higher AAV because the cap will have gone up so much in 4 years.
50 plus.
So it's worth it for him. He thinks he can sign one more big contract before he retires, right? So,
yeah,
but
and he'll be 30 when he becomes a free agent again.
Right.
So that's a sweet spot, especially for DNs. You know, we've seen it a lot. Hendrickson, Von Miller, Khalil Mack, all of these guys that have aged pretty well are getting
sweet spot to tear your ACL.
$25 million a year as 30-plus-year-old defensive ends. And hopefully he stays healthy. But you know, that's the thing with the Von Miller deal that's just so hurtful to me and my heart, because it pushed that window so open for Josh Allen on that last year of his rookie deal to be able to take a swing on a guy like that, to just have it taken away, you know, just like that off of the Ford Field turf. And that's the risk for anybody. I mean, Jordan Love is not a rookie on a rookie deal anymore, but you know, they
that's
have room to play with.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's just another area of risk reward with these big contracts. It's like you're exposing yourself. You have a little bit more exposure as far as like that player getting injured. If they're such a larger piece of your team and your cap, like, you don't really have flexibility to replace them, you know, when they go down. It's like your team is just like, I mean, it's like a Josh Allen. We all know that we'd be screwed if Josh Allen went down for the season, knock on wood. You know, it's like you lose a guy like that to injury. It really doesn't take much for your season hopes to sink, you know, and he's that kind of impact player, basically. So you rather, you know, if you have a bunch of better deal players like the Greg Rousseaus of the world, it's like, it's not the end of your football team when one of them gets injured because you have more cap allocated to the guys behind him. But again, it's all risk reward and stuff like that. But do you guys think the Packers are now NFC Super Bowl favorites, or how would you stack them up against the some of the better NFC teams out there?
No. I feel like they match up with the Lions now. Like, they're in the category of the Lions, and the Lions that I say that with are the team that has now, you know, lost their coaching staff. So I would say they regress a little bit. But, you know, the Lions have Aiden Hutchinson. Now the Packers have Micah Parsons. You know, the Lions have Jameson Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta. And now, you know, Green Bay can spread out a plethora of weapons. And then you look at the Bears too. They have a good offense. Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, the tight end they just drafted. So JJ McCarthy is going to make that the wild card, right? Because he had a good preseason last year, comes back. We'll see how he does. They're a good team on paper. It's going to be a good division. That might be the best division in football again.
It definitely is top to bottom, but
yeah. I think the NFC is more wide open though.
Yeah, I think they're 100% contenders. Like, he's one of the only players that you would sign, and then I bet their Super Bowl odds moved. Like, I'd be interested to see what the line movement was on their Super Bowl odds, but I mean, how many players are you signing in the Super Bowl odds move? It's a quarterback or it's a guy like that?
No, I think having a guy like that, especially in the NFC, you're going after guys that aren't even as mobile. I mean, now you got Jaden Daniels over there, but you're going after Matthew Stafford. You're going after Jared Goff. You're going after, I mean, Jalen Hurts.
Brock Purdy.
Move. Brock Purdy can't move. So you look at those lists of quarterbacks versus Lamar, Patrick, Joshua, you know, the first name guys in the AFC.
Joshua who?
Like Joshua Patrick Allen.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I'm excited for the Packers fans. Remember those guys we had on the podcast a few years ago?
Yep.
They got to be thrilled.
I mean, you got to be if you're a Packers fan, right?
Yeah.
You got to love it. Let's see. Rivalries, unis. Do you guys see these kind of Detroit looking Frost kind of uniforms? That's the first thing that my significant other said. She's like, too much like Detroit. But I kind of like them. I like the silver.
I told John mine would be dirty within like, I don't know, probably 30 seconds. But then I was thinking too, if they play, apparently John said the game's going to be in Foxborough, or you said Foxborough, right? In October.
Well, they're playing the Patriots, so it's either going to be in I think it's in Buffalo. It's in Buffalo. Either way, they're playing on turf.
They're not coming. Those jerseys aren't coming out of there white either. I was saying there. Light brown.
Pat Moran made a funny tweet about, he's like, I'm not complaining about the color of the jersey. I'm just mad that I would spill on it as soon as I got it.
True. Well, you can get your own for the low price of $190. So
is that what they're listed at?
Yes.
Well, thanks, Micah Parsons.
I looked.
Yeah. So, but anyways, we
talked about this before.
Right. Well, Pat, you got to head out.
I'm sorry, guys.
All right, we'll see you, dude.
Baby duty. Those jerseys are sweet. I'm too poor to be investing in another jersey. Maybe I find one on a discount somewhere on another website from far away places. But if I were to buy one, John, which player would you get?
That is a good question. First of all, good luck with the knockoff sites with the all the silver stuff that's going on the Buffalo like that. I don't think anyone's going to get that right, unfortunately.
Probably not. Right. So
I honestly, I was going to say the $190 jerseys. I wonder if they're not even going to look that good. Like, are they going to actually be like sewed on numbers and stuff like that?
Probably.
For 190. Yeah. I mean, they better be.
Yeah. They're going to be sweet. I think they'll be sweet. I'll be curious to go see one in 11 days when they should have them in the store at the stadium by then.
Yeah.
I was going through this in my brain. I mean, I like a lineman. I like Spencer Brown. I do like Rousseau, but he's not flashy enough for me to get a jersey. James Cook's available now that he's under contract for a few years, and I like the number 4.
That'd be sick.
Keon is interesting as well. I like Terrell Bernard. He was the guy that I settled on. It's a little different.
43.
Trey White would be my other one, or Matt Milano. Those are my top 3.
I think you're crazy if anyone is saying anything other than Reed Ferguson right now. I think I need a Reed Ferguson jersey next. For sure.
It's not a terrible idea.
How about Brad Robbins? That's another uniform jersey I could get behind.
Brad Robbins.
You know what I forgot to do? Yeah. Andreessen. I'd like Pat would look good in the Andreessen jersey because it's his old high school 44 number.
Yes.
But you know what? It's so funny. We should have done this with Bills players who were on the roster on the 90 man that, whose names we didn't know. We should have played a game called, is this person on the Bills roster or is this like a made up person or something like that? They just made up a bunch of names. Cause like when you see the cut lists come out, I was like, I'm sorry. It's not like I haven't been paying attention this summer, but I haven't heard this guy's name once.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't. That was the only part about Hard Knocks is I wish we could have got a little bit more. I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. Keon Coleman. Give me a little bit more. Terrell Bernard. Give me
I wonder if that was a creative control thing where they didn't let them follow any of the starters. It seemed like, they had Josh, right? But they didn't follow Josh. I don't know. It was all backups. All of the stories were backups. And honestly, most of the guys didn't make the team. Like they're on the practice squad now, but most of the guys they followed, Jimmy Charlo, KJ Hamler, all didn't make the 53-man roster. Zach Davidson, also latest episode. But
I felt like that first episode was really good. It was my favorite one.
I thought they got better as they progressed, honestly. Like I loved them all. Like that. It's the ending of the first one that gets you though, right? Emotional response.
But I wanted a little bit more from different players. And I understand that it's Hard Knocks and it's a tough time of year. And maybe the Bills are a little close vested with their media access to their players. But I like the offensive line talk. They did a good segment on that with Dion and the lunch or the dinner, the pizza nights. But it would have been cool to maybe see the secondary in action. We saw a little bit with Christian Benford and Trey White.
Yep.
But I want to see Matt Milano. I want to see.
We got Matt Milano to speak words. That I when that happened, I stood up. I stood up and I was like, yes, we heard Matt Milano speak. And my significant other was like, what the hell are you talking about?
It's Matt Milano.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal, guys. There was over under bets on the word count during this series. So congrats to anyone who had over 0.5 words spoken from Matt Milano. But
you hit it.
Yeah. Tyrell Shaver's making the team. Big story. Pretty much made it on special teams alone. I'll go ahead and make this, but this is like a lukewarm take. I think Tyrell Shavers makes at least one really big season affecting play. Like
season affecting play.
season affecting. I mean, maybe one step below that, like really like game changing play.
Okay.
Big play, like unexpected contribution from that guy.
Big game.
Yeah, I think he's going to, by default, he's probably going to be active on game day because of special teams. So he's not like, you're going to see like an Elijah Moore inactive, most likely, I feel like. So
it's nice to have the versatility. It was cool to see him finally make the team. I'm glad they didn't sign Gabe Davis.
Yeah.
Because this guy has earned his spot, I feel like. Just like Gabe did when he was here, but I feel like, you know, he's put his time in. He's not young anymore, and you don't want to miss the prime of a project that you worked on. So give him a chance here to see what he can do.
Yeah. But I mean, he made a big play last year too in the Jets game, 80-yard touchdown. So there's that. But I mean, could be a big play on special teams, you know, recovering a fumble for a touchdown, you know, on punt coverage, could be any of that stuff. So, but I think we'll get at least one this year, at least one big Tyrell Shavers play.
I like that. 17 games, he can do that.
Yeah, I think so. Other thing from Hard Knocks was we learned a little bit more about Josh's throwing motion and his time with Chris Hess, which I thought was really interesting. Also, Chris Hess just looks like a great guy to be around. He's so positive. Like, how could you not want to learn and be? I want this guy to coach my golf swing also.
Well, I love that he put it in there with Josh, how Josh is like, I figured something out. And he's like, I got it in the slot. And it's so interesting when you really think about it. If you play any sports at all, and then you talk to a guy like that. I mean, I was thinking about this the other day. I hit a 7-iron, maybe 15 yards further than I normally do. And you just feel like it was perfect. Like you drop your hands, it goes through the slot. You compress the ball. And then I'm like way over the green. I'm like, oh, I played the yardage thinking I was going to hit my little swing. And I hit a golf swing. And then I watch his thing and it's like, you know, he's talking about the hip movement forward, the weight transfer. And then he was talking about with Mitch Trubisky, you know, with Josh when he was a rookie and all that strain on his arm to get the velocity of the ball. And then they showed that part with Mitch where he's like, you know, your arm speed is down, but the ball speed is the same. And I like that quote because that means you're mechanically doing everything correctly with your hips and pushing from the ground and the flick of the hand, like all of that. You don't need to be throwing your arm 200 miles an hour to get maximum velocity on the ball.
Right.
And it's the same thing with the golf swing. As you know, you don't have to swing at it like you're trying to send it to Mars. If you just nice and smooth and solid, if you hit it with the correct form in the center of the face, it goes as far as you need it to.
Exactly. And honestly, it's good advice to actually watch LPGA players swing more than it is for PGA players swing, because their swings are some of the most efficient, technically sound swings that you'll ever see.
Yeah.
And you know, guys on the PGA Tour, I mean, they're, you know, you got some athletic freaks, right?
You got some freaky swings, though.
If you tried to, I was going to say, if you just tried to start playing golf and you watch Scotty Scheffler swing a golf club and then you go out there and try to do that, like, you're going to have a terrible golf swing because what he does, like, defies physics and all that stuff. And it's kind of like a do as I say, not as I do kind of thing.
Exactly what I was going to say.
If you want to see the most, like, efficient, smooth, like great form golf swings, like study LPGA players, because it's like, that's what you should be going for if you're not an athletic freak, like neither of us are. So if you're going for efficiency and for consistency, it's like, that's kind of the model for it.
Yeah. But I think if you want to see a picture perfect swing, Nelly Korda's got a great swing.
Yes. Yep.
Lexi Thompson has a good swing.
But yeah, anyway, give Chris Hess key to the city, because I mean, Josh's development, it has such a butterfly effect when you really think about it. Because honestly, like Josh's ability athletically and his running ability and his throwing ability is all just insane. But I think it still might be second to his ability to develop and learn. Because, I mean, you just look at I love seeing the video of his throwing motion from year one compared to his throwing motion now and how different it is. Yep. And you hear Chris Hess talk about how it's like, what takes some people 2 weeks to learn in reps, Josh can do in 2 to 3 reps.
2 reps.
And just like flip it around and change it. And that's insane. I mean, that just speaks to his ability to learn and constantly be learning. Those are the people who win in the end, right?
They sure
Not
do.
the guys who just make it and are cool with the status quo. So not that anyone had any doubt, but I think Josh is from a molecular level doing every single thing he can do to help bring the Bills to Super Bowl. And I don't know. I respect it. It's cool.
Me too. It's really cool to see. I feel like and Chris said it right away. He's like, you just did it and you fixed your throw in 2 reps.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, Cool. Guy just perfect throw.
Sure. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
It's a robot
down here. Yeah.
The robot.
I'm sure he loves that. Yeah. As a coach, you love that.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you feel about Poyer on the practice squad here?
It's fine. It's the same thing as Hyde last year.
I was going to ask you if you think that's a 1-for-1. Obviously, the difference being that Hyde, when he was done in Buffalo, was very complimentary of the city and everything. And I think Poyer had a little bit of more rocky departure, if you want to call it that.
Did he get quoted on anything?
I should have looked that up before this episode. See if you can find some quotes from that. Because I know we had stuff from his brother, at least. But, I don't want to sign his brother's quotes to him. And then also, the hit on Keon Coleman in the Dolphins game that ended up helping us in that game, if you remember, with the penalty inflicted. But I wonder what that conversation is like with Keon in the locker room.
I don't think he said anything about leaving Buffalo, Poyer himself. And he said even during the season in Miami, he wanted to call Brandon Beane. Really? That was one of his quotes that he said. He's like, yeah, I'm in Miami and I'm thinking about being here. And I don't hold it against him for hitting Keon like that. You're a safety. I mean, he had a couple of hits. He played. So I thought he got a little bit. I'm glad that they didn't bring him back on a big deal when he left, because I thought his play might have slipped a little bit. But still, one of my favorite defensive plays that I've ever seen was him punching the ball out of that Kansas City game. Heroic after bailing Sean McDermott's ass out of the worst play call of all time to give DeMar Hamlin the ball on a fake punt. And you have Josh freaking Allen, and Jordan Poyer's like, all right, I'll do it myself. I'll save this team here. We'll get a chance. And, the history is Tyler Bass misses the kick. But to see that play, that punch out, driving with a punctured lung, he deserves a spot on the wall or the whatever they choose to do.
I agree.
For the new stadium, him and Poyer together, or him and Hyde together. And I think if you really need him for a game, maybe you slide him in. And the versatility of him as a player, maybe he's not as fast as he used to be. So you put him in the box, you put him at nickel, you could put him at linebacker. That's kind of what they were doing before. But I think having a guy like Cole Bishop learn from these guys is great. And I think you have Trey White over there to help out Maxwell Harrison. And now you have Jordan Poyer to help out Cole Bishop. And it costs nothing. So if anything, it makes the guys on the team happy, they're buddies, and I'm cool with it. Like, I don't have an issue. You signed Jordan Poyer because you're stuck here with DeMar Hamlin and Cole Bishop, who's questionable. And you got, who's the other? They got a rookie in the draft, later round pick. But you had a lot of time here, man. It's the same thing with the wide receiver train and all this sort of stuff. We were talking about the value of draft picks, about trading these picks for Micah Parsons. I mean, go get them. Go get real players, because I feel like, keep your 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th round pick and get rid of the rest, because Brandon Beane is not drafted great in the first round. Like, you're not getting superstars here in the first round, Brandon. So let's trade those picks for superstars and keep drafting these superstars in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round. I mean, because again, you're picking late in the first round too. So it's kind of hard to judge them against everybody else, when every single year you're drafting 29th or 30th basically. But yeah, I understand. I still think having, if you go look at his track record of everybody, it's a little dicey. I don't know. So is every GM. So is every GM. I mean, it's not perfect. Not all of them. I just like the Rams model. I like how the Rams did it when they traded for Vaughn, and they did all, they win the Super Bowl, and then like a year and a half later, they're still good. I know, but that route can go very south, because that route is likely a 13 seconds play away from not working. Think about how that year plays out differently if 13 seconds doesn't happen and Levi Wallace actually covers Travis Kelce. Like, I think the Bills win that year. Like, I don't think it's going out on too far of a limb to say that. But again, it's like the Rams did it that year, and then they haven't gone back, and they haven't been great since then either. So it's like, again, you sell your soul for one, which is great. The gamble paid off, but just because you gamble doesn't mean it's going to pay off, right? Yeah. You could stick yourself in a hole for, it's like, honestly, like I would prefer the Bills current model to that Rams model, because we've had 5 shots at it, and you can look at results and say that, hey, those 5 shots at it, we haven't made any of them. And the Rams took a full court shot and did make it.
but I'd rather have, 5 half-court shots than 1 full-court shot and depend on that having to go in, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe the equivalent metaphor is they made it a 3-pointer because of the talent that they got for that 1 year.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I don't want to talk about losing in the playoffs anymore.
Yeah. All right. Oh, let's finish this out. I got a top 10. It's not that good. Spoiler alert. But anyway, top 10 things more interesting than the engagement of Travis and Taylor. Let's kick this off. Number 10, watching the Sabres sober. Number 9, a Bill Belichick press conference. Number 8, the Week 1 Panthers-Jags matchup. Number 7, the 2001 Bills, who went 3-13. Number 6, listening to Julian Edelman as a commentator. Number 5, Jerry Jones' self-indulgent Cowboys documentary. Number 4.
Hey, that was good.
Number 4, the Cardinals' new tortilla uniforms. Check them out if you haven't. Number 3, listening to Aaron Rodgers talk about health and wellness. Number 2, extended replay review. And the number 1 thing more interesting than the engagement of Travis and Taylor, watching Daniel Jones play quarterback in the year of our Lord 2025.
Yep, that's good. Daniel Jones on a roster. What are we doing?
I know. What world are we living in?
He's just good enough to win them like 5 games.
Every time I see a team do that, it's like, that's the drought Bills in a nutshell. Like your big signing was the most mediocre quarterback you could possibly think of.
Yeah, but I'll take Ryan Fitzpatrick.
That's true.
A journeyman that comes here. And
what do you think
Kevin
about
Cobb?
I was going to say, what do you think of the Bills adding Ryan Fitzpatrick to the practice squad? What do you think about that?
I think any part of him that wants to be in this organization on any capacity, I'm happy with.
That's true. And if he can't do it, maybe they'll call Trent Edwards and see if he's available.
Trent's got the head issues,
He's going to take some snaps.
Damage his brain. I think we just call EJ Manuel back.
EJ? Oh, man. Yeah, I bet EJ's bored. They'll be fine.
My signed EJ jersey is just in a garbage can in the closet. It's still my favorite story. When I listed it on Facebook Marketplace, when I got it 10 years ago, and people were messaging me saying I would have to pay them to come get it. And I'm like, come on, it's a nice jersey. Come on, give me $10 for it. You can have it.
That's funny. Yeah. That's funny. But, well, anyway, also Thurman's in town. If they need a practice squad running back, might as well be, reach into the archives.
Anybody that is suited up before is fair game for Brandon Bean.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, you guys know where to find us on all platforms at Not Buff Podcast. We'll be back next week. Big week. Season starting next week. It's ramping up. It's finally here. See you next week. Go Bills.
Go Bills.